Yo guys, welcome back to the second episode in this series where we're making a 2D platformer. If you haven't seen the first episode, I'll leave a link in the description. You should probably check that out before watching this so you actually sort of know what's going on. Or if you just want to watch this for what I'm doing in this episode, that's fine I guess. Right, anyway, let's get into it. So the first thing we'll be doing is changing the jumper style for our character, since the one that I made last episode I don't really like. I prefer more of a Hollow Knight style jumping movement script. So we'll do that. Right, the first thing we want to do is open up our character controller that we made last week. So once that starts up, there we go, started up. What we want to do is we want to create 3 new floats and 3 balls. So the first 3 floats we're going to make is called Timer. So the second one is called Jump Timer. And the third one is called Gravity Scale. Okay, right, the next 3 balls we're going to make. The first one's called Start Timer. The second one's called Press to Jump. And the third one's called Release to Jump. Right, once we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to delete all of the jumping code. And we want to replace it with sorry, no man, no, we don't want to delete that. We're going to replace it with press jump equals true, and can jump equals false. Yep. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to create another if statement below it, and inside the condition we want to put input.get key up with a capital G, like that. Get key up, and then in the brackets keycode dot space, like that. And inside this we're going to put release jump equals true, just like that. Right, next what we want to do is we want to create 2 new functions called start jump and stop jump. So we type as private or public, it doesn't really matter. Public void start jump, like that. And public void stop jump, just like that. Okay, in the start jump function, what we want to do is do rb.gravity scale equals 0, rb.add force, then in the brackets new vector 2, then more brackets 0 jump force, like that. and then add force mode 2D dot impulse. With capital I. We're going to add two more conditions, and it'll be press jump equals false, and start timer equals true. Just like that. Right, now we want to copy and paste all of this into the stop jump section. Okay, right. So we want to change a few things here. We change the gravity scale to whatever you want your gravity to be. Start timer to be equal to false, and then we can delete the press jump line, and the add force line, since we do not need them. Right, next we add a released jump and set that equal to false, and timer equals jump timer, like that. Finally, what we do is we create a void fixed update section where we can put two if statements. The first one being release jump, and the second being press jump, like that. In the press jump statement, what you need to do is call the function start jump, and then in release jump you need to call the function stop jump, just like that. Okay, right. Okay, what we're going to do next now, get back into Unity. And then reload all our scripts. If we press play, now what we should see is that our character can infinitely jump and go through floors. So what we're going to do is set the jump timer to whatever you guys want. So however long you want them to jump for, say 0.2 seconds. That didn't work. Oh, I see, right. So what we forgot to do in the void update function, we need to create another if statement, and the condition being start timer, like that. So in this we need to do timer minus equals time dot delta time, like that. On the next line we need to create another if statement within that if statement, with the condition being timer is less than or equal to 0, and then released jump equals true, like that. Just like that. So now if we go back into Unity, you can see we can only hold the jump button for a certain amount of time before he falls back to the ground. So say we set to 0.4 seconds, set both of them. Now you can jump, hold spacebar for 0.4 seconds before he falls back to the ground. Right. Next thing we want to do now is create animations. So there's actually two main ways to animate, and it's mainly dependent on how your sprite is or character is created. So one way is when you make art for your character, you make all the body parts separately, so then you rotate the body parts to make it look like they're running or jumping, just stuff like that. But the other way is to change the sprite per frame or per X amount of frames, so, right, which is what we'll be using in this episode, so you guys are going to see that. So first thing we need to do is open up the Animator window. And to do that, we go up to the top, press Window, go to Animation, and then Animation again. Then it'll open up this like box. So just if you want, just drag it to there, and we're going to create a new animation. And then choose where you want to save it. I want to save it in an animations folder that I've created, and just name it running, for example. Press save, and then it will come up with a timeline. Yeah, so now what we want to do is get our player sprites, and we can add in our player running sprites just like this, how we want, and as you'll see, our character will look like he's running, so a bit faster. So we can, if we spread these out more, it will look a little bit more realistic. So just play around with this until you guys find what you like, really. And that seems alright for me. So next what we want to do is we want to create a new clip, and we want to make a jumping one. And then we can add in our player jumping. And just play around with that until you guys get what you want, really. And then we need to make one more, which is idle, just like that. And then just add this . There you go. So now once all of your animations are set, what we need to do is we need to connect them all together. So if you come up to Window, go down to Animation and open up the Animator, it'll open up this tab here. So what we do here is we want to set the idle one as the default one. So if you see as it goes into entry, it will automatically make the character run. So if you just right click on the idle and set as layer default, this will be the default one that it goes to when you start the game. So with this now, what we're going to do is make transitions to the running and jumping ones and make transitions back. This is so that once we enter, for example, a jumping animation, we can actually go back to the idle one. Right. Next what we want to do is we want to create two parameters. Sorry, no, yeah, two parameters. Both of them being balls. First one we want to call running. And the second one we want to call jumping. Okay, what we do now is we click on these arrows, on these little arrows here. We want to uncheck has exit time and change the transition duration to 0. Okay, next what we do is we add a condition. So for jumping, going towards jumping, we're to set the jumping condition to be true, like that. And to come back, we do the same thing with the exit time and transition duration, and set jumping to be false. And then do the same with the running one. Just like that. Once these are complete, what we need to do is connect all of them in code. So what we do is when you want to jump, we can set in the if statement of when you jump, we want to set, so we type set so we type jumping dot set ball, and then you need the name of whatever you named that ball in Unity. Mine was jumping, and then after a comma you type true, just like that. And what we also need to do is we need to create a public animation jumping. Sorry, animator, animator jumping, and we can also make a public animator running, like that. So we can also set it so that if movement is greater than 0, running dot set ball running is true. And then create another if statement with movement being less than or equal to 0. So running dot set ball is false. Just like that. And then down in this on collision enter, we can set the jumping set ball, then the name of the ball, so false, so that they stop jumping once they collide with the ground. Okay, next what we want to do is in void start, we just want to write 2 lines of code, and it's running equals get component animator just like that. And then we want to do the same with jumping equals get component animator. Okay, once you've done that, you can go back to Unity, wait for everything to load up again. And if we play, we should see that our animation now works. Not when we run backwards though, so we can quickly change that. If we go back into Visual Studio, if movement is that, so equal to 0, and then create an else if statement, movement is less than 0, then we can copy this line in to that. There we go. And that's our animations done. And that's all we're going to do this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope this helped you guys out with animations and maybe exploring a new sort of jumping scripts that you can use that you might prefer. And yeah, please like, subscribe, and comment down below on what you guys would like to see and how you think we can improve. And basically next week what we're going to be doing is I'll show you guys how to flip the character. So when he's facing, for example, left, he'll look left instead of just running backwards like he does now. We're also going to add in some enemies. Yep, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.